Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, KZN International Jazz Festival hopes to attract the international market in tourism, social cohesion, economic development, and to contribute in the conservation, that's what I'm trying to say, of South African jazz heritage. Happening at the Station Functions and Event Center on the 3rd of June, the KZN International Festival will feature 3 segmented themes: the International Jazz Hour, Afro Jazz Hours, and Smooth Jazz Hour. With a gala dinner set up, the festival will produce and provide a conducive environment for jazz appreciators to enjoy food and drinks from their favorite artists such as Dr Nduduzo Makhathini, Selaelo Selota, and Japan's Yayoi Ikawa, to name a few. Now, to tell us more, we're joined in studio by one of the festival's headliners, guitar maestro Selaelo Selota. And then on Zoom is, of course, KZN International Festival producer Babu Atlas Duma. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning.
I'm going to start with Atlas in KZN. Babu Duma, very good morning to you. I mean, tell us a little bit about this festival. What is the inspiration behind it?
Good morning to the viewers. Yes, it's a very, very dynamic festival. It's going to be taking place on the 3rd of June. It is inspired by the 30th April, like that is the International Jazz Day. So all jazz cats and jazz practitioners are celebrating International Jazz Day on the 30th of April. So we did launch KZN International Jazz Festival on that day. So then we are going to have a fully fledged festival on the 3rd of June. 2023.
Yeah. Selaelo, I mean, I'm looking at this lineup and already it's an exciting lineup. Tell us a little bit about what we can look forward to from your performance.
Well, you know, I'm very glad because, as you mentioned, the 3 elements of the festival, the smooth jazz, the Afro jazz, I'm smiling because I know that I'm deliberately going to be the mishmash of all of them. You know, I'm going to be straddling all the 3 of them. And so I'm looking forward really because we have got dynamic performers there. Some of them were friends, you know. Xolisa Dlamini is one of the artists there, you know, Bongani Nkwanyana, Mthobisi Mthalane. I'm looking forward to performing with them and sharing stage with them because, as I say, there's this excitement and that friendship that has been going for years. And so it's just like we're going to be just like little kids who've been thrown in the garden to play.
And speak to us about that involvement, Xolisa, as well, from where you know her from and who she is today and your performance on stage together.
You know, I invited her in my second album, 2001, the one that contained the groundbreaking Trapa song. And I just wanted, because of her energy, I liked her energy from that time. And now when I worked with her last year, I realized that, you know, over the years, we've been growing so much that now she's in a different league. And I'm really looking forward that I hope there would be a moment where all of us converge in a space, more like, you know, at a jazz festival, sometimes we have jam sessions. I'm looking forward to that excitement of just letting go, you know.
Babu, you must speak to us about the diversity of this concert and the different jazz heads, if you want to call them that, that you've brought into the festival.
Yes, it's very exciting. So for us to bring different hourly themes that actually interpret the dynamics and the diversity of the festival, it is actually portrays how unique and how diverse is the jazz, because one can actually connect and be able to define and explain this jazz element and feel at home to appreciate a certain jazz element that actually able to him or her to distinguish between or among these genres. So it is very exciting, starting with the cool jazz, graduating to the Afro jazz, and closing our session with the international jazz, where that one is going to be portraying the skills of Yayoi Ikawa from Japan, and Nduduzo Makhathini, and our Richard Bonner. So we are very proud that we are able to bring along these international artists and enjoy jazz with us in KZN.
Yeah, and speaking of KZN, you've
Yes.
always said that there's something about magnetic about also performing in KZN for you.
You know, for me, I think every second year, as a tourist,
Yeah.
I have to go to one of the destinations in KZN. Because one of the things is that I remember very well, it was August 2000 when I launched my first album. I went to KZN to go and perform with Nduduzo Makhathini at the Bed Center.
Yeah.
And I sang the song Lolita. And when I sang that song, it was the third song. Now, because it was the first song I sang in Zulu,
Yeah.
They could not stop singing with me.
Yeah.
I performed 3 songs instead of 8 songs. But from that day,
Yeah.
I know that my voice and my identity and art got accepted in that space. And then I started growing from there. You see,
Yeah.
if you can grow from the coast, because you are blown into the inland by the breeze,
Yes.
you know you're going to be breezing throughout the land.
Throughout.
So I love, South Coast, North Coast, KZN. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
And speak to us, Duma, about the venue for this festival and why you specifically chose this particular venue.
The venue is very beautiful. One can actually get confused when we are saying it at Durban Station, you know, because Durban Station is quite a busy area in another side of the building, you know. However, we are going to stage it on top, the rooftop of the building of the Durban Station. So that rooftop is having a beautiful venue on top that is called the Station Urban Event Space. So it's very corporate. It's good looking. You know, if you are inside, you actually feel at home, and we are very proud staging our events there. If you travel a lot with a bus, so at Durban Station there's a bus terminals underneath the Durban Station, so that is your way up to the rooftop of the Durban Station. That's how easy the event is, so much accessible with plenty parking and a very welcoming environment.
Yeah. And what challenges have come with organizing this festival? It's a Dear Foundation that is actually got this mandate from the original organizers of or founders of the International Jazz Celebration Day, the Happy Hancock Institute of Jazz in London, endorsed by UNESCO. You know, so those bodies are actually making us legit as to being endorsed by them, that this festival is getting an international reach out, an international mandate, and it is so much recognized in the global environment with regard to jazz scenes and jazz fraternity. Selaelo, how long is your set? Speak to us about the thought process that has gone into going to this performance, because I know you give a lot of thought process into start to finish. Have you thought about that? Have you, curated it in your head?
The minute I get requested or get identified as one of the artists to perform for a festival such as this, it starts on that very day.
Yes.
And so, I've been going through my emotions. I've been going through the energy,
Yes.
the environment. I actually acclimatize myself according to where I'm going, even including the culture, the nuances of the music, where I'm going, how those people sing in that space, but still bringing in the context of jazz within me in that space.
Yes.
So I have been already working on discussing with my band of how can we interpret this, and it's becoming beautiful. But more than anything, I like the surprise, and I even like surprising myself.
Yes.
Because that allows me to challenge myself to say, no, this is what I thought about. Let me do something that I didn't think about. So I'm looking forward to a space that can just let me be, and I can, I carry the essence of what Mr. Duma is doing, his vision. I also try to incorporate that in him specifying that international link. In my jazz language, I know that I will be able to incorporate kind of playing that will say, no, but this guy knows what we are talking about. Yeah, so.
All right, so before we wrap this interview up, let's hear this message from one of our guests, the multi-instrumentalist Richard Bonner, who's also performing, by the way, at the festival, and he is currently in Paris, and this is what he had to say.
Hey, what's up, South Africa? Sawubona. I hope you guys are well. Just a quick announcement to let you guys know. June 3rd, I will be in KwaZulu-Natal, believe it or not. And this is the KwaZulu-Natal International Jazz Festival, June 3rd. This event is sponsored by the Sagia Foundation. I can't wait to see you.
All right, Richard Bonner then, he will be one of the performers at the KZN International Jazz Festival. In studio with me was Selaelo Selota. And then, of course, on Zoom all the way in KZN was, of course, the festival director and organizer, Atlas Duma.